Hi everyone. For context, my boyfriend and I were together 2 years and friends/co-workers for a year before that. We weren't planning on getting married right now, but found ourselves forced to, due to citizenship problems that arose with our lovely new presidency. Like I mentioned, marriage wasn't in our plans, but we agreed that we loved and wanted to marry each other in the future anyway, and we didn't exactly have any other choice right now if we wanted to stay together. Please note, all throughout the relationship, I've never felt so fulfilled, emotionally, spiritually, physically, etc. This man made me feel like soulmates existed. He pushed me to be a better human and spoiled me and genuinely had me feeling like life isn't worth living without him. He's never given me reason to suspect creeping on his part. We exchange phones without issue and know each other's passwords to everything, though it's not like we're the let me check your phone types. He makes me feel gorgeous and frequently tells me he only has eyes for me. I don't have social media and he does, but it's never even crossed my mind that he'd talk to other girls there. So, we were coming back from a weekend getaway after getting married. He asked me to send a picture to someone with his phone, and as I was doing so, I saw a hot selfie of a girl I didn't know in the gallery preview. It was a fully clothed photo, but no face showing. Definitely a thirst trap. I wasn't expecting the worst still, so I asked him to open his gallery without giving a reason, and he got his phone to do it, but I saw him immediately trying to erase something. My stomach dropped. From there, he started apologizing when I called him out. He explained that a friend he recently reconnected with from his childhood sometimes sent him stories/posts from girls they knew back then, kind of like, "Hey, remember this girl? Look how hot she is now." Lame-ass excuse, because it didn't explain why it was saved to his phone. I asked him to show me the conversation and he gave me his phone so I could search. It went back a few months, and yes, his friends sent him things, but my boyfriend was also sending them on his part, following those girls and reacting to things sent. I felt so disgusted and betrayed, because the worst part is, the one he had most recently reacted to was on our own wedding day. I gave my boyfriend the ring back and left him at his place. He was crying and panicking, apologizing, saying it's the worst mistake of his life, that he was so stupid and he would block everyone and he loved me so much. I haven't been able to stop crying, and I genuinely have no idea what to do. I know it's not exactly cheating, but still, I feel disgusted and I never saw this coming from him in a million years. We'd had such a fairy tale weekend. Such a fairy tale past couple of years, honestly. But we're married legally now. And even if I leave, I hold his citizenship/future in this country in my hands. I don't know if I want him to be condemned to deportation because of this. Please, I'm just looking for advice on what anyone else would do in my position. I feel at a complete loss. Update. Guys, when I say the relationship was amazing all throughout, I meant it. We have amazing communication. Anytime I've brought a problem up to him, he has always reassured me, never blamed or villainized me for my feelings, and has always followed through with his word. When he's apologized and promised change in the past, the change happens right away. We began as great friends and have maintained that sense of friendship throughout the relationship. There was no love bombing, which I also saw. Trust me, I have experience with not great relationships. That's why this caught me completely off guard. I was more embarrassed than anything, and disillusioned with this perfect image of him I had in my head, I guess. It was just a very icky thing to do in my opinion. And yes, it made me feel insecure. Sheesh, some of you were a bit harsh when calling me insecure/immature grinning fist with sweat. But the amount of people telling me to leave him right off the bat was surprising, and any hoping for his deportation extremely gross. I'm sorry if it came across like I was considering that route, but I would never. I meant to ask for courses of action I could take that wouldn't affect that part of the marriage at all. Or to share my fear that with the possibility of me leaving could also come with the possibility of that worst-case scenario. We've discussed this marriage at length, knowing it would be a tough situation to put ourselves in as well as pretty unconventional. Worst and best-case scenarios, changes that might come in the future, what it means for us right now, game plans, boundaries, feelings, etc. He pursued other options, and we did this only when they were exhausted. And yes, we even discussed what would happen if we broke up. Trying to get him deported is something I'd never do, even if he had actually cheated on me. I knew what I was getting myself into. In the end, We both agreed we were younger and not as financially stable as we would have liked to be, but we adored each other and wanted to get married further down the line anyway, so it was the best option we had for the situation we were in. This situation has some nuance, guys. I really appreciate every different perspective. Don't get me wrong. It's what I asked for. But please, he's not some cartoon con artist villain type, I swear. Throughout the aftermath, he's cut off his friend without me asking him to. He's given me all the information I've requested and more. He's unfollowed and blocked the women, shown solid proof for the things he's claimed, not made any excuses for and owned up to his behavior being unacceptable, and given me space while still making small gestures to show his remorse. The hurt I feel is still real. I know I'm justified for feeling it, but I don't really know if this warrants a divorce and cutting all contact. That's why I posted, to get a broad sense of all my options here. If that makes sense? Plus, my brain was a mess. It was an emotional roller coaster this week, and I needed help processing. I still do, TBH. As of right now, I'm taking my space to think. What comes next? Thanks everyone, smiley face.